Hello, Attimo family, Superiore.
Ciao.
It is March already, and we have a foot of snow out there. Gotta love Colorado. So here we are with our Director of Sales again, with Scott Thomas here. We're gonna introduce the wines that you're gonna get this March. So the first one we'll get into is this Dolcetto Doliani. Scott, tell us a little bit about Dolcetto.
Dolcetto is kind of really the native grape of Piedmont that most families consume there. Its nickname is Little Sweet One, so dolce in Italian means sweet. Dolcetto, you put the article at the end, etto, it means small, so Little Sweet One. It's a very big berry, it has a lot of juice to it. It really, it's got a lot of great components like, grapiness as well as like red fruit, black fruit, spice characteristic. And Doliani is kind of like the stronghold for Dolcetto.
Yeah, that's what's special about this bottle is a lot of times you'll get a Dolcetto d'Alba in the wine shop. But when you see a Doliani, that's the one region in northern Italy that kind of dedicates their best growing slopes for the Dolcetto grape, whereas everywhere else in northern Italy, they're going to plant it with Nebbiolo. So you're going to get a little more structure, a little more complexity out of these Doliani Dolcettos as opposed to an Alba. Do you agree there?
I do. And Doliani has a minimum aging requirement of 1 year before it's released, so it has to be aged, and this one is aged in oak, a classic barrique, classic Balti, really large barrel. It's elegant, it's got some spice notes to it. Again, you put a chill on a wine like this, and it's fantastic charcuterie, classic pairing in Piedmont with the bagna cauda, which is a garlic-based anchovy ilio. That's really good.
Ooh, that sounds good, I'll have that.
Yeah.
If you haven't had this Dolcetto, it is delicious. This is what the Italians drink at breakfast, and here we are. It's before lunchtime, so I guess we're fitting in. So the second wine here is a little piece of my happy place, the 2017 Barbaresco. I believe this is the first time that we're rolling out for the wine club. So this is our next vintage in the lineup before you tried the 2016. So, Scott, tell us a little bit why 2017 was somewhat of a challenging vintage.
17 was very difficult in this region for a couple of reasons. One, there was one of the worst frosts of all time in April of 2017, which really decimated a lot of the fruit sourcing on the lower parts of the valleys because the cold air sits lower to the ground than the warm air. And then it's followed by one of the hottest summers of all time as well. So combine those two, it was low yields, but then everything ripened very quickly. Fortunately, our Barbaresco is from a site, it's called Ronchi. And Ronchi is a site within the commune of Barbaresco, and the vineyard faces east, so southeast, so it's not so hot.
Yeah.
So fortunately, it stays a little bit cooler, so it retains this beautiful elegance that you know for Barbaresco.
So even with that challenging vintage, with the cold and the heat spike, the vineyard designation where this is kind of a blessing because it was almost a typical vintage for this site as opposed to a lot of the other area of Barbaresco. It kind of got hit a little harder.
Very much.
Yeah.
And as you know, most European wines are labeled by appellation, not by grape. So when you see Barbaresco on the label, you know it's 100% Nebbiolo, and there's a minimum aging requirement of 26 months before it can be released. So this is aged very classically as well in Balti. Again, those very large 25 hectoliter, 2,500 liter barrels.
Yeah.
They don't impart any oak to the wine. It just allows the wine to kind of develop and soften the shoulders, so to speak. But classic.
Like I said, my happy place right here.
Yeah.
Wait till you get a nose in this glass.
Awesome. Chin chin, my friend.
Chin chin.
We'll see you next month.
Happy March.